What's happening, Shredder Nation? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to, oh my gosh, episode number 33 of Shred Your Body. I'm your host, Jesse James Jamnik. I'm one of the nutrition coaches for the ER Shred. If you have not heard of the ER Shred, it's really simple. The ER Shred is an 11-day health protocol. But once you say yes to yourself, once you've realized enough is enough, once you've drawn that line and you come into our community and you experience the depth and the empowerment and the just everything that the ER Shred gives back to somebody, because we address the core values of health, we get people firing on all cylinders again. Our motto is come alive. It's that for a freaking reason. Join our free Facebook community, www.ershredders.com. You will see for yourself thousands upon thousands of people who have literally come alive. I mean, every walk of life, every shape, every size, old, young, it doesn't matter. We are just a nutritional guidance program, but with support and motivation and teaching. We eliminate the bullshit and we give people exactly what they need. And for me personally, watching people come alive, helping people with their health, helping people have the aha moment. I truly believe that our health is our greatest wealth. It's unfreaking believable, and everybody absolutely deserves that. So tonight, I'm excited every single week, but my mission every single night is to come on and highlight another individual, highlight somebody that's part of our Shredder community. And I always look for somebody that's been around for a while. I want to show sustainability. This is not just a, wham bam crazy diet. This is nothing like that whatsoever. You have not ever experienced something like the ER Shred. I can promise you this. I've been doing in this industry for well over 20 years. There's nothing else like this whatsoever. And unless you've experienced it, you won't really understand what I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from. So my mission is to highlight individuals and stories. And tonight, I truly believe that I'm going to interview a real life freaking superhero. She's thriving today. She's crushing it. She's doing amazing today. But that past story, we all have those past stories. And this one, is really unfortunate that it happens to people, but it does happen. And this superwoman had the courage to stand up, enough is enough, get her life back, and address that. But then obviously still things happen. And today she's absolutely thriving. So I'm not going to steal any more time from her. I'm going to bring her on. As you guys come in, please drop into the comments. Let us know where it is you're coming in from. Say hello, hit the buttons, make sure you give this girl some love. But please welcome to Shred Your Body, the one, the only Miss Nicole Hayes. What's happening, Nicole?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So tell everybody, where are you from?
I'm from Collingwood, Ontario, Canada.
Collingwood, Ontario. Now, where exactly is that?
It's like an hour and a half, kind of north, I think north of Toronto.
North of Toronto. Okay, cool. So I've been to Toronto, one of my absolute hands down favorite places in the entire world is actually a place that you've lived, British Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that not the most gorgeous place on the entire planet? It
is.
Seriously.
I love it.
Right? Where the ocean meets the mountains. It's an ultra marathon runner's dream place. It's any outdoor enthusiast activity. I mean, you name it, it happens in Squamish, and it is just drop dead gorgeous. It will steal every breath away from you. So I love that place, Nicole. Have you ever heard of a race called the Squamish 50-50? That takes place in Squamish? No? So it takes place in Squamish, and it's a 50. So I do 50 miles the first day and then a 50K the second day. But anyways, that's one of my things before COVID happened. So I can't wait until we can open the borders again. And then hopefully we can all meet up and I can come see all my Canadian friends that are part of the ER Shred. And we can all kind of have a little Canadian powwow and you guys can show me how it's done. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
I love it. I love it. So let's get into your story, Nicole. Today, you've been with us since December of 2020 is when you officially said, yes, I'm ready. Let's go. Even though you had many of opportunities previously, because the person that actually brought you into this, our fulfillment company, for those of you that don't know, in the ER Shred, we educate people on elimination, on a reset protocol, and a shred protocol. But that's simply teaching people how to eat foods that serve our body, right? As you now learned, Nicole, and also how to use very, very high quality supplementation to fill those voids where food sadly falls short today. So our fulfillment company is absolutely amazing. And the woman that introduced you to this, to our fulfillment company and to the ER Shred, was like the 28th millionaire, something like that, in this company. Isn't that crazy? So you cleaned her house. And before we go on, you were literally telling me, you're like, I used to go around her house and I used to polish all of her trophies and all these crazy checks and all that kind of stuff. So what do you think? Why do you think you didn't start sooner, Nicole? Why do you think it took you until December to finally say yes?
Well, because I was kind of a chicken, honestly, because my mom is with a different health company.
Okay.
And so I was kind of underneath her, but I didn't really do much with it. But you know what I mean? So, so Carolyn went back in November. She's like, here, let me give you some cleanse, so you can do a cleanse day, see how it is. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll try that, you know. Yeah. And so I did, and it was good. And then a couple of weeks later, I went back to clean her house, and I just kept gaining weight. So she's like, Nicole, let me help you. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to piss my mom off, you know. Yeah. She's bigger than me. I'm 5'10", okay? She's 6 feet tall. So I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to make my mom mad. But then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So Carolyn's like, okay, let me help you. But she hadn't told me about the shred just yet, because she didn't learn about it until just after she was talking to me.
Gotcha.
And one of her friends had heard about it and showed her a picture, and Carolyn was like, do you want to try this?
Yeah.
This ER shred? And I'm like, well, what is it? And she's like, you eat meat and drink shakes and do cleanse days. And I'm like, all right, I'll give it a whirl. You know? So I started my first shred, and I did it completely alone by myself. And so I ended up losing 9 pounds and 11 inches. I was like, oh, well, this seems to work. So I told my friend about it. On shred 1, I lost 9 pounds and 11 inches.
Yeah.
So I told my friend about it, and she's like, well, okay, I'll give it a whirl. So then she started doing it like just after I was done my first shred. She did her first shred over Christmas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like Christmas holidays, over Christmas, right up until like New Year's Eve. She did her first shred.
Yeah.
And then like after we were both done our first shred, then we hopped right into another one. So then after we were both done our second shreds, we had both lost 18 pounds by then. So I was like, okay, this works. This works. Yeah. So then we had another friend that we started talking to, and we were like, she was dead set against doing it. She was like completely against it. She was like, I have tried everything, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, please. If it doesn't work, don't do it again. But if it does work, you got to do it one more time. And she's like, okay, fine. So you pulled
the Carolyn on your friend. You were like, listen, let me help you, basically, right? Like, come on.
Exactly. And so her first shred, she had seen everybody else's, like a lot of people who had lost like 10 pounds and 12 pounds and stuff. Well, thank God I measured her too. Okay. Yeah. Because her first shred, she had lost, I think, 6.8 pounds. So she was all ticked off and stuff like that. She's like, I only lost 7 pounds like that. I'm like, you lost 7 pounds in 11 days. She's like, but everybody else, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I said to her, I said, okay, come over and I'll measure you.
Yeah.
Well, then her attitude changed because she had lost 22.5 inches on her first shred.
Whoa.
Like, okay, maybe it works.
Yeah.
So now, like, I just started my 10th shred yesterday. She started her 8th shred yesterday, and she's lost almost 60 pounds now.
60 pounds.
Like 70 inches.
You said 60 pounds and 70 inches?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. That's
like,
crazy.
in, I'd say 5 months, she's lost 60 pounds and 70 inches.
Oh my God. I hope Lenny's on here. Lenny Evans, if you're on here, start doing some calculations and put those into the comments. He's like the inch master. He like takes the amount of inches that you lost and converts it and then lets you know like how much additional actual body fat that is. You see, because a lot of times, right, Nicole, now you're so excited. Now you said to me, you brought up something that's crazy. People ask me all the time, like, they're like, well, Jesse, come on, like, how long can people actually do that for? And how long are people going to stay on that? Because they're so used to people failing and people quitting and people trying keto and it's not sustainable, or trying Atkins and it doesn't work, or it works for a little bit and then you kind of gain it right back, right? And you shared something with me, Nicole. Share with everybody before the ER shred, you know, let's go back a few years. I want to share, because you're very strong and you're very powerful, and you know, I asked and you said yes, you're confident in this, you know, but I want people to know, everybody always looks at today, and I hope your friend is watching, because people see the story, but they see the glory, but they don't see the story. And you're somebody who, to get to this point in life right now, you had to kick and claw and scream and fight, quite literally, starting in 2003. And I think that was your first marriage, right? Where you had two beautiful kids in that marriage. Unfortunately, that marriage turned out to become an abusive relationship, right?
Yeah.
And you were strong enough. You had the courage to leave that relationship. But that really like uprooted life, right? Like, was that where you went from like one province to another province, or what was that situation like at that point in time?
I'm from Ontario and his family was from Nova Scotia.
Okay.
So we moved to Nova Scotia when I was about 3 months pregnant with my second daughter.
Okay.
And so yeah, I was living in Nova Scotia with I didn't even know his family hardly.
Yeah.
Like the only family I really talked to of his out there was his mother every once in a while when she would come over. I didn't know anybody out there.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody out there. Like, I didn't know anybody. And so I was basically stuck there. And I didn't tell any of my family what was going on, and I didn't tell any of his family what was going on. So I was stuck in a different province with a 2-year-old, and by the time I ended up leaving Nova Scotia, my second daughter was only 2 months old.
Wow.
So one day I called the police, and actually, one day I called mom, and I finally told my mom what was going on, and she told me to call the police, and the police took me to a women's shelter in another town, where I spent like 4 or 5 days, maybe a week or something like that. And then my mom ended up paying for a flight for me to go home to Ontario.
Gotcha.
So then I went home to Ontario, but yeah, it was not easy living in a completely different province with 2 young kids and like an infant and a 2-year-old, and having to come back. And live at mom's house again, and then get an apartment, and then kind of moved around from place to place.
Now, I would imagine that, obviously emotionally, mentally, I mean, it's got to be a complete like tornado, right? At this point in time, like not realizing which way is up or down. I mean, how was all of that happening? How was health at that point in time? Was everything just kind of like all, I would imagine it was crazy, right? Like
it was crazy. And I had just had a baby like a couple months earlier, so I still had all the emotional stuff from that.
Yeah.
And then like when she was 6 days old, he just literally he kicked my one daughter across the kitchen, and then I went after him, and then he just beat me down the whole left side of my body. So that's when I knew I had to figure out a way to leave.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew I was going to. And so I just kept going through my mind. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to figure this out?
Yeah.
And then my mom called me the one day and I just broke down, and she's like, call the police. So I went back. Then I went back to Ontario.
Yeah.
Thank God for moms.
I am so sorry that happened to you. Nobody should ever have to go through that. But I want to applaud you for sharing that, because, not only with the ER shred, this isn't just about some superficial bullshit around here, right? Like, this isn't just about weight. This isn't just about inches. Like, we're going to get to how that all ties in. And I think that really does play a big role in giving us the strength and the courage, and how our health is our greatest wealth. But, if anybody out there can, ever hears this, right, and is in a situation, unfortunately, like you were in, Nicole, from that experience, what advice would you give to that person? So maybe we can touch that person's life and hopefully give them the courage. I mean, how did you muster up the courage to do that? Like, it's got to be scary as shit, I would imagine, right? Like, not knowing if somebody's going to come after you or any of that. Like,
I had nightmares. Like, even when I came back to Ontario and I knew that he wasn't allowed to come to Ontario.
Yeah.
I still had nightmares after that, like of him breaking into my place or whatever, like it's scary. And you know what? Nobody should have to live like that. Nobody should ever have to live like that, living in fear. The one thing I can say is if anybody who is going through that, just tell somebody that you trust.
Yeah.
Tell somebody that you trust. And like, even if you don't feel like you can take care of it yourself, tell somebody that you can trust that might be able to help you take care of it.
Well, I think the lesson that we can pull from that, or at least the lesson that I'll pull from that advice, Nicole, is whenever you're in trouble and you feel, realize that you're not alone, right? And would you agree that one of the best parts about what we have today is the community aspect? And I mean, I feel like if I ever need something, I can call so many friends, like people that I can call friends now, and I can talk to them. I can, vent to them. I can listen. I can be a good listener if somebody needs me. It's such a cool thing. But, I would take from that, even though it's not the same situation, because I've struggled with this, where I have to ask for help, realizing that sometimes you got to really just reach outside yourself. And I think it takes a stronger person to have the courage to ask for help. So I think that's awesome advice. So thank you so much for sharing that. And that, people would think like, wow, that's enough for somebody to go through. But unfortunately, you get yourself out of that situation. You start dating again. Right? You come to a place where you can date again. You find somebody else. You get married. You actually have a third child. This is your son now, right? And what ended up happening with that relationship?
Oh, geez. It was a nightmare. It ended up being a nightmare. So I ended up, we ended up getting married, and then a couple years later, we ended up moving out to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. We moved there for a couple years, and he just he he could he could never like keep a. I always worked. He could never keep a job. I bet you he had 40 jobs in like the 8 years we were together. Like, so he ended up always being home with the kids, and I didn't find out till years later that he used to beat up my girls when I was at work. He would beat up my girls when I was at work, and he would treat them like crap all the time. Like,
Yeah.
and he would treat my son like, put my son on a pedestal and treat my girls like crap. And
Because they weren't his biological children.
yeah, because they weren't his kids, so he would treat them like crap. And yeah, so we ended up moving out to Saskatoon, which was a huge mistake. And yeah, he never treated them good, and he always had a bad attitude, and he would always say things that like who talks about how they're going to hurt people,
Yeah.
like he
Yeah.
would talk about things like that all the time and stuff like that. And it was just like really, really emotional abuse from him all the
Yeah.
time, all the time. And then he almost got me fired from my job when he threatened to kill my boss, just things like that. Like, who does that? Who does that sort of stuff? And then so he always said to me, he's like, well, you'll never be able to leave me, because if you do, I'm taking Gabe. And I was like, no, you will never ever have Gabe, who's our son,
Right.
together, right? And so we were coming back to Ontario because my dad and his dad were getting married like within a week of each other.
Okay.
So I came with my son back to Ontario. My girls were already here visiting my mom, who lives in Wasaga Beach, which is like 10 minutes away from Collingwood.
Yeah.
And but he stayed back because he was going to drive back so that we could all drive back to Saskatchewan together.
Yeah.
And then he ended up getting our car in a wreck, like, because he was pissed off because I was in Ontario and he was there, and stuff like that. Like, and then when he ended up coming back to Ontario, and then the one day he got mad at me and he grabbed my son and threw him in the vehicle and just took off because he wanted to go back to because like he wanted to go and live back in Saskatchewan. And I was like, I'm not going back to Saskatchewan. That place was like the worst experience of my life. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going back there, right?
Yeah.
So I thought he was going to take my son and go back to Saskatchewan. He didn't show up for hours and hours and hours. And I'm just wondering, my son was only 5 at the time. I'm wondering, where's my son? And I can't call the police because he's his father. He's allowed
Right.
to have, So, and then we ended up getting a little cabin to live in Wasaga Beach, and we were living there. But as we were living there, I was actually going to the women's shelter like once a week
Yeah.
and just talking to the people there because I couldn't handle him anymore. I couldn't
Yeah.
handle even being around him anymore. So they said to me, you got to leave this guy. Like, he's crazy. He's a crazy person.
Yeah.
You got to get. So then they ended up getting a place for me there for the end of the month. So I knew at the end of the month, I would have a spot where I could be safe with my kids.
Yeah.
And so what he ended up doing was he ended up going to work one day. And while he was at work, I packed up all of our stuff and I went to the woman's shelter,
Yeah.
and he literally looked for me all around town, just driving around looking for me, for months,
Wow.
like for the entire time I was living there.
Yeah.
He told me after the fact that he actually, yeah, he was stalking, well, trying to stalk me. He was
Yeah.
trying to find me
Yeah.
because he wanted to take my son, and he did want to take off back to Saskatchewan because because I don't know, at the time they had a thing like if you were living in a province, that's your province for the next 6 months
Yeah.
after you were living in that province.
Yeah.
So legally, if he wanted to go back to Saskatchewan with my son, he could have just taken him, and I wouldn't have known where he was.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
known anything.
Well,
Well,
thankfully, you again had, a team surrounding you, right? With this woman
mhm.
shelter, it was mom, and then this team, and again, you had the courage
Well,
to realize that enough was enough, right? And put yourself first. And so you shared with me, Nicole, that particular shelter really changed your life. Why do you say that?
well, I did a lot of soul searching when I was there, and I realized that I was the person that I wanted to be. And I knew that I had to make some changes, and I knew that I had to stop worrying about other people, start worrying about my family, my kids, and just doing what I had to do for them, because that was no life for them to be living either.
Yeah.
Like my girls were terrified of him, like terrified. Like they there's still stuff going through court to this day from that.
Yeah.
And yeah, they won't even, the one wouldn't even speak in court. Like she wouldn't even go into the courtroom,
Yeah.
you know. She was too terrified.
Yeah. I mean, I can
So
only imagine. Like, I can only imagine you as an adult, never mind a child. Yeah.
well, the thing is the girls didn't tell me until like years afterwards that he was such a that he did what he did, and he had threatened to kill me if they ever told anything, if they ever said anything. So they were always terrified
Yeah.
to tell me anything, you know. Even when we were at the shelter, we tried to get it out of my daughter, my oldest daughter, like what's happened, and she wouldn't say a word,
Yeah.
like nothing,
Yeah.
because that's how terrified that they were
Yeah.
of him. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a sick person, right? That
Yeah.
prides and preys on people. I mean, unfortunately, every story like this is always fear based, right? Why someone won't share. Obviously, one of my best friends, who co-founded the ER Shred, Sean Escobar, has his story. I don't know if you've ever heard his story about abuse and hiding it for years and years and years, and finally, as an adult, not very long ago, he mustered up the courage to step up and step forward. And this person actually went to jail. And because of Sean's strength, so many other people came forward and, shared their story. So for you, Nicole, I mean, as horrible and tragic as that is, and I'm so sorry again that you had to go through that. I'm trying to actually not get emotional because I have an 11-year-old daughter. I have another baby on the way. If I ever found out that somebody did something, my daughter has an amazing stepdad, thank God, who loves her and cares about her. But by goodness, if I ever found anything, like, it would, watch out. like watch out, because I think, you know what I mean? Like it's not going to be a pretty ending. I'll tell you that much right now. But man, I don't want to sit on this and dwell on this, because that's not who you are. You are not the victim. You are so much stronger than that. You are such a beautiful, amazing person. I've got to witness you completely transformed just since December. I mean, if somebody looks at your before and after picture, like, holy shit, is that the same person? I mean, the color, the vibrant, attitude, the courage. So I just want to tell you, I acknowledge you. I admire you. I truly admire your strength and your courage. And I thank you for sharing that story. Not that it, I just think it has a place, right? Like if we can help somebody, and I think some of those lessons, that strength, people look at the past, and for so long, Nicole, I fell victim to my own stupid mistakes, to my own shame. And I had to come to realize that I'm not that person. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I did those things, and I will fully accept those things. But once I stood up and acknowledge, and I did that through a lot of help, through a lot of talking. And Sean is a big, like Sean, I owe Sean my life for giving me that courage. And I'm just glad that we shared that story, I guess, is the thing, without having to kind of pry into it. But for you, after all of that, after that craziness, and after you finally got your life together and you started going again, where was your health at that point in time? How were you doing? Talk to me about day to day. I mean, was it a struggle? Like, where were you at? I know you told me you've tried so many different things and you would fluctuate. Kind of share that piece of the story with us, if you will.
Yeah, for the last couple of years, like I was always in the same 20-pound range. I would gain 20 pounds, I would lose 20 pounds. I would gain 20 pounds, I would lose 20 pounds. I tried the apple cider vinegar diet. I went and looked up all sorts of stuff on Google, and how to lose belly fat. Walk and walk and walk. Walking helps lose belly fat. No, it didn't. Like I didn't mind being in the same 20-pound range, but when it went up to like 45, 50 pounds gained, I was just like, I'm doing all this exercise. Like, my work, like I work at a super busy hotel. I'm a housekeeper. I'm constantly on the go all day. And the hotel is super, super long. So you're walking minimum of 10,000 steps every day. It's like, walk. Like, and then I go home and I walk my dog for another 10,000 steps. And it's like, I was like, and then the thing that I used to do with my mom through her business, they have like a shred thing too, but it didn't work for me. Like I tried doing that, and I said to my mom, I'm like, Mom, I didn't even lose a pound. I'm like, it's not working.
Yeah.
Thought this was supposed to work, So, and like probably in the last 5 years, I've lost and gained the same 20 pounds over and over and over again. But yeah, last year was definitely the worst. I think I gained like 45 to 50 pounds. And Carolyn said to me when she talked to me about it, she's like, well, how much do you want to lose? I'm like, I want to lose 40 pounds. She's like, you want to lose 40 pounds? She's like, let me help you lose 40 pounds. I'm like, okay. So within 3 months, I had lost 40 pounds. 3 months to the day.
Right.
3 months to the day, I had lost 40 pounds and 40 inches.
Woo!
After I started.
So what do you think? I mean, you tried all these other things, right? All these things that were supposed to help you lose weight. They were supposed to get you healthy. I know, I mean, I've been coaching now for many years. I have heard so many of these stories, right? People, I try to talk to people, they're like, Jesse, I've tried everything. Like, it's almost like they just gave up. Like, were you at a point where you had to like almost given up and been like, you know what, screw it. Like, no matter what I'm doing, it doesn't work. And were you kind of like at that final straw, and then that's when Carolyn came in?
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you a story. I was at work one day, and the final straw for me was, but I didn't start the shred until about 4 or 5 months later. But I knew that I had to do something. Was when one of the short little housekeeping ladies came up to me, rubbed my belly, and called it princess. She called my belly princess. I was like, I cried. I cried the whole drive home. My fiance, Peter, he used to work at the same hotel that I worked at. And I'm in the car and I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm like, how could you call it princess?
Oh, no.
It was so hard because I tried like to make a joke out of it, you know? But as soon as I got in the car, I like literally bawled my eyes out the whole way home. I was like, how could you do that to me? How could you do that to me? You know? And that's when I knew I had to do something. So that's when I started walking all the time. I'm like, oh, well, this will help, you know?
Yeah.
And it didn't.
Did she call did she think you were pregnant, or did she just like name your belly?
She was calling my food baby princess. She knew it was a food baby
princess.
My food baby.
Oh.
She knew. Yeah. She would rub my belly and call it princess. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to do something. Yeah. It's like,
so, wow. I didn't know that part of it. That's, that's crazy.
I was so mad.
Somebody posted that happens to a lot of women. And it hurts. And I know it hurts. And you know what? So here's my question, Nicole. I know it hurts people. I know in my soul that nobody wants to wake up every day and not feel good. Nobody wants to wake up and not be healthy. Nobody wants to wake up and be overweight. Like, I truly believe that nobody wants to do this. Like, I tried to understand. I tried to look at it from all different ways. I tried to put my emotions aside and things that I've learned. Like, I tried everything. Why is it that you felt like this? And I think this can help a lot of people. Why is it that you felt like this, but yet you didn't take the step, or you didn't say yes to your friend, or like, what holds people in that position? Like, you were crying in the car because somebody called your belly, your food baby, princess. Like, clearly you did not like yourself at that point in time, right? You had already gone through all this other shit in life. Like, here you are trying to make it, like, and now you're struggling with health. Like, what kept holding you back from saying yes? Do you know?
I knew that I wanted to lose weight. I knew that I was trying to lose weight, but nothing was just nothing was working at all. Like, I tried to lose weight. Like, I started eating salads all the time and other shakes, and I tried and nothing was working. Nothing worked for me. And like, I'm going to be 45 this year. So I know once women reach their 40s, their metabolism slows down, and it is harder to lose weight when you're in your 40s than it is when you're in your 30s or 20s or whatever, right? So, but I just thought, you know what, I'm going to end up being like this for, I was like, I've tried all this other stuff. It's not working. Yeah. I'm just going to end up being like this. I'm just going to have to get used to being like this. I didn't want to be like that, but I was just like at the point where I was like, well, I guess this is the way it's going to be now. You know, I'm going to look in the mirror. I'm going to see chubby cheeks. I'm going to, you know, I wasn't happy with the way it looked at all. I was not happy.
Yeah.
And that's when
it's crazy that you just said what you said, because I don't know if you can see the comments that I pop up on the screen there. I don't know if you can see them, but April, April, right? One of our Shed Warrior princesses, of course.
From Collingwood.
That's right. He said, she summed it up. She's like, look, nobody wants to wake up and feel like shit, but sometimes it's just easier to do what you know. And you got to a point, and I know there are thousands, if not millions of people around this world that are suffering, and they're almost at the point where you're at, Nicole, or where you were at. I'm sorry, not where you're at now, but where you were at. And they're at a place where they're just like, well, I guess this is just the way it's going to be. And I'm going to accept the fact that I feel like shit every day. And I'm going to accept the fact that nothing works. And I'm going to accept that, whatever. And that makes me so sad. Like, it makes me so sad. It's one of my main reasons that if I don't make this isn't about money or anything to me. Like, for me, it's like, I know without a doubt in my mind, and I've watched it happen to so many people now, that when people get control of their health, this is why I say our health is our greatest wealth. Because once you wake up, once you have that aha moment and realize that you're not supposed to feel like shit every single day, you're actually supposed to feel awesome every single day, and you have that realization, things change. Everything in life changes, right? Like, for you, besides the weight, and besides the inches, besides feeling sexier in your clothes, besides feeling sexier when we don't have clothes on, besides feeling, more courageous and all of that stuff, what other things for you changed in life? How does Nicole Hayes show up different today than the Nicole Hayes that was showing up in December of last year before she started?
This Nicole is a heck of a lot happier now. Like, I always got I'd say 90% of the time I always have a smile on my face. I actually enjoy I enjoy life now. Like, I like going for walks. I go for walks because I want to go for walks, not because I think I have to go for walks.
That's what it is. Right there. That is freaking huge right there.
Yeah, like, and I like just feeling comfortable in my body again. I don't feel like a stuffed sausage inside my own body. Like, I just feel I feel so much better.
Nicole, if we can't laugh about these things now, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point, right?
I know. What's the point? Now I laugh about my food baby because the same girl at work comes up to me, because I actually had left that job for like 6 months, and then I came back like the end of February. Yeah. So the last time they seen me, I was big. Oh wow. Right. Okay. So I came back to work at the Westin, which is the hotel that I work at. And I had lost 30 pounds. But before I went back, they were like, okay, so what size uniform do you want? You want large, right? I'm like, actually, no, I want medium. They're like, what? Like that, because they hadn't seen me in like 4 months, right? They're like, what? A medium? I'm like, yeah, I've lost like 30 pounds in the past 2.5 months. Like that. And they're like, oh, really? Yeah. So I walk in and they're like, holy crap. So now the same lady that used to rub my belly and call it princess, she comes up to me, she gave me a great big hug, and she's like, oh, you're so skinny, Nicole.
I love that. You say, you now call me queen, not princess. You now call me queen. Oh man, Nicole, that is awesome. That is awesome. When you can go back, you know what I mean, and like awe shock people, and that's all fine and dandy. But I think I know it's not about the other people, right? It was more about you.
About me. I wanted to feel better about myself.
Yeah.
and I do feel better about myself in every single way.
Yeah.
Like
So
my
I always
body feels better, my mind, everywhere.
Yeah, so you've noticed a big connection with your mind. I know my mom is like, my mom looks like a completely different person. Like, I'm super proud of her. She's on this call too, listening. She's made a drastic transformation, and she's tried for years and years and years and years and years, and would always tell me things. And I'm like, Mom, I'm in the freaking health industry. Like, you can't pull some wool over my eyes. You know what I mean? But she's drastically done it. And the mind change, the transformation, when you start to get healthy and fix your gut. And I always tell people there is a direct connection. The gut is considered your second brain for a reason. What kind of things have you noticed around, have you noticed things about mental clarity or brain fog or focus, or what have you noticed about that?
I used to forget everything all the time. Like, even at my work, like, we have carts that we have our stuff on, right? And I go out in the hallway, grab stuff. I go back into the room, I forget one or two things, and I'd have to continuously remind myself what I had to go and get all the time. I don't have to do that anymore. I just go out, grab, come back. Like, just things like that. And like, I used to be so forgetful. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. And now I don't even notice it anymore. Everyone's like,
do you find that to be, did you ever put that connection together before you did something like an elimination and removed all the culprit foods and then slowly added back in to find out which ones actually served your body? Like, did you have any idea the connection that every single bite of food you took drastically talked to your body and transformed and sent signals and controlled your mind and all of that? Like, did you know that at all?
I did know that.
Okay.
To a degree, like, not to the. I knew it. Well, my stepfather is a chiropractor, so he quite often would talk about stuff like that,
Okay.
And but other than that, like, I didn't know to the degree of how much the gut and the mind actually
we're connected,
are interconnected.
Yeah. Pretty powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about you as a mom, Nicole. How has getting healthier helped you from a mom standpoint? Have you noticed, things in that? Is it part of everything that we've talked about, or have you noticed things specifically at all?
Well, I have more energy from, like, my son and I actually have started going out for walks and doing stuff like that because like he's a big boy too. If he wasn't 12, if he was a little bit older, I'd be getting him to do the shred too. I just find that I used to be more distant with my kids, and now I'm more want to be around them, like want to do things with them, hang out with them, and be around them, and do the things that they like to do.
Do you find that is it just because of the courage that you have now, the way you feel about yourself? I mean, I would imagine going out in public. I know people that that went on weight loss children, right? Because you put your kids first, and everybody does that, and I don't necessarily, I don't feel the same way as all that. I believe our kids are everything, and we got to do what we got to do. But if you can't take care of you and be at 100%, you can't give to somebody else at the percent you want to. So I think it's a little backwards in how we get taught. But that's a different thing. But do you feel like, was it all part of that? Is it all like the going out, the having the energy, like kind of that mix? Like, I would imagine it, I know there's just people that are struggling, right? Well, my point was, so I've watched people do this, and they didn't even take pictures. They weren't even in pictures with their kids. So like, part of their regret is that they felt so ashamed that they wouldn't even get into a picture. And that was part of their why. So I think, if somebody can hear your story and just realize that their story could be a little different. But really, I think at the base of it, at the root cause, right? And I'm always about let's figure out what's causing the problem. Let's get to the root cause. And if we address the root cause, we can then fix everything else. It's like how you heal a plant, right? Like I did a whole live on my plants. Like you don't fix a plant by spraying the leaves. Like the plant doesn't need more water. It needs better soil. It needs to be taken care of better, right? So I think that all stems from that. But hopefully if somebody can hear where you were, how you were stuck and how you're different now, they might get that courage to, you know what I mean, to kind of step up and you know, and say yes, right? And kind of say yes for themselves. Would you think that that'd be a good thing for them?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm glad I said yes. I have no regrets at all.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier.
That's awesome. So you've done 10 shreds. 10. This is your 10th shred. Now, this is an 11-day elimination, reset, shred protocol. I've been health coaching for many, many years now, and I have put people through elimination protocols. I have done it myself. The old way that we did it was not very enjoyable. It was actually a pain in the royal ass, if I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I think this way is the easiest way. Talk to me about the sustainability. Let people know out there who might be looking at the ER shred, who are on the fence like you were, who are bouncing back and forth. Maybe they're on their first one and they still have many more to go because, you know, 11 days is only 11 days, right? Like we can't expect unicorns to fall out of the sky after 11 days, right? Like why?
You can't expect miracles.
That's right. That's right. Why have you kept going? What has been so different about the ER shred versus all the other things you told us about where you failed and you took it off and put it on and took it off and put it on? Like, why is this the thing? And do you think that you'll ever change your ways and go off of living this kind of lifestyle?
I don't think I'll change. I'm going to probably just stay like this because it's simple. It's simple. It's meals. It's 7 meals.
Yeah.
7 meals in 11 days and 2 cleanse days and shakes. 2 shakes a day and 1 meal. It's simple. It's not always easy.
Yeah.
But it is simple.
I love that you said that. I love that you said that because we are real. We are real. We are real. We are real when it comes to this. Like, we are not going to blow smoke up your ass, right? Like, it is simple, but it is not always easy. And that's okay, right, Nicole? Because what can we do? What can we do? We can do anything, right?
Exactly.
And we can do hard things. Every single one of us can do hard things. And the harder they are, usually the more glorious the outcome, right?
Exactly. And I'm proof of that.
Have you felt a deeper Ruby, who has also been an amazing shredder? She posted something where she goes, I bet you're going through another awakening, deeper healing that is still being done. Do you notice that every single time, because you don't just go like 11 day, right? Like you do 11 day with like some shake and meat days in between. And then you maybe play around with a couple foods and then go into another one. Is that how you do it? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so, that's the way I do it.
Do you notice that things are continuing to get deeper? Like, do you notice more things changing, or is it kind of leveled out for you, or where are you at right now?
Well, for me, I think it's kind of leveled up for me, like, which I'm happy with. I'm happy with where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Because the last, I'd say, 3 shreds I've done, I'm pretty much staying where I'm at the 50-pound mark, which is fine with me. I'm happy with that. Like I don't want to lose a lot more weight. I don't want to lose another. So like I just try and keep within like the same 5-pound range, and I'm happy with the way that my body is, right? But I do like the simplicity of the way that we eat, you know, So I'm not going to change that because I feel good. Why would I not want to feel good?
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
So that's why I just keep doing it. Like, and yeah, I've probably been the same 50 pounds for the past 3 shreds, but
It's awesome. That's
I'm
awesome.
not changing the way I'm doing it.
Yeah. So why? So people ask me this all the time. They're like, "Well, why would you keep doing it?" You know, people ask me personally, ask me like, "Why would you keep doing this? Why would you keep doing it?" And it's like, why would you keep doing it? Let me ask you that question. Why would you keep doing it if you're happy and you're where you're at?
Well, because because I still have lots of friends that are doing the shred too.
Okay.
And I like doing it as a group. And
Yep.
we do it as a group together. We cheer each other on. And I'm always going to be part of that cheering section. You know, I'm always going to be there cheering them on. I'm going to always be there talking to them, working them through it. So if I'm not doing it, they're not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and they need the help too. So I'm always there to help them out. My people that do the shred, cheer them on and do it with them.
Yeah. I love that.
I got to be a person that's doing it, and I can't expect them to do it if I'm not doing it too.
Yeah.
You know? And I actually like doing it because I also know myself as well.
Yeah.
And I know if I was to go off the shred, I have a feeling that I would probably, well, maybe not now, but definitely 3 or 4 5, 6 shreds ago, I would have gone back to eating lots of food that probably wouldn't serve me very well. So I like the regimentation of the shred. Like, just have your shakes and eat your meat meal. You know, I like that. I'm the type of person that I know the type of person I am, and I know that I'm the type of person that's going to go start eating junk food again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't want to do that. So I just keep doing the shred, living my life, just keep doing it. And that's another reason why I'm not going to stop doing it.
I mean, you know, it's really simple for me, Nicole. People go, well, why do you keep choosing to eat healthy every day? I go, why do you brush your teeth every day? Why do you lay down and go to sleep every single night? Why do you put deodorant on? Why do you take a shower every single day? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some things where it's just like, what's the other option? Like, the other option is to go back to feeling like shit. The other option is to be in pain. The other option is to not feel confident about myself. The other option is to, you know, lose this happiness that I have every day. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer if you ask me. It's kind of a no-brainer. Like, why the hell would I not want to feel awesome every single day? I mean, if you want to feel like shit every single day, by all means, go right ahead and do that. I don't know why you would want to, but go ahead and do that, right? But it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. I mean, keep it simple.
Exactly.
That's it.
And it is simple. And that's what I like about it. It is simple.
You know, the one thing
Like
that you said, Nicole, I love serving. I love serving. I love serving people. I think it's just, you know, I personally, it's a selfish thing because I get a lot of joy out of it. So it brings joy to me. But it's my way of giving back. I think it's my way of punishing too for all the stupid shit that I did. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I have so many amazing talents that, you know, I didn't think that I had before that I can now help other people with. And it's like, what an amazing thing. Like, what other thing can you do in life? But you're good, right? Like, you're good. Why would you not help other people? And that's the part that I love about you so much is you have that servant heart that, you know, you could very well be like, you know what? I did it. I don't have time for anybody else. I got 3 kids. I work a busy job. Like, but you show up, Nicole. You show up for every call. You're there cheering people on. You're rooting people on. You're in the group. I mean, you are just freaking amazing. And I love that about you so much. Like, I hope that everybody can get to that point once they feel so good with themselves because of the ER shred, because of the community, because of what we have, that they can get to that point. Because I look at our group at 22.4 thousand, and that to me, it sounds like a big number, but that shit is so tiny to me compared to the 2+ million people that I want to see in this group, because that is impacting world health. And I don't know about you, but there's a lot of miserable, I'm just going to call it how it is, because you know how I do that, Nicole. There's a lot of miserable assholes in the world today. And I feel that if they just love themselves more and start with their health, because health is our greatest wealth, we could all be happier. And if everybody was happier as an individual, can you imagine how we would then treat other people, how we would handle situations, how we would deal with things? Can you imagine what the world would be like if everybody was like Nicole today and like came alive like you just did since December? I mean, look how happy you are, for crying out loud.
I know. I feel awesome.
Right? So you told me something at the end, and we're going to finish with this. You shared the shred. Why do you feel it's your obligation to share the ER shred with people, whether they say yes or no, whether they join you or not? Why do you feel that it's your purpose? Because you said you love helping people one at a time, and your mission is to show people that think that there's no hope left in life. They could be down and out. They could be the Nicole back in 2003 when all that bad stuff was happening. And I can only imagine that you felt like the world was crumbling beneath you. And here you are now, all these years later, shining, vibrant, and your mission is to help other people. Why do you feel it's your obligation? Why should anybody who's come alive with the ER shred go out and share this with people that they care about, that they love, and even strangers at that matter?
Yeah. Well, I share because I know people need help. And they need to, I know I've been that way before, and I don't want other people to feel that way. So I want to help as many people as I can stop feeling like crap all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Like the me 6 months ago never would have came on this thing today. When I first started doing this, I wouldn't even talk in a Zoom call. You know, like Carolyn would bring me on a Zoom call and I'd be like, I'd just sit there through the whole thing and not say a word, you know?
Yeah.
And now I feel it's my obligation to help as many people as I can.
I love it.
If they want to lose weight, if they want to feel better, if they want to just feel good about themselves again, if they feel good about themselves and still want to lose weight, that's great too. But I just want to help as many people as I can. I've never once in my life considered myself an inspiration to anybody, but in the last 6 months, I feel more like like people have told me that they're inspired by me. So now I feel like I have to inspire people. I want to inspire people to do what I do and to feel the way that I feel.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. Oh, that's so beautiful. How does that make you feel that other people consider you an inspiration? What does that make you feel like?
I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I love every minute of it.
Yeah, I love it. You should. You absolutely should. Listen, there's nothing...
of me on their Facebooks and stuff like that, and look at my friend Nicole, or look at Carolyn posts things about me all the time on her Facebook wall. And when people do things like that, I'm not gonna lie, I love every minute of it.
Listen, hey, there is no shame in that whatsoever, and don't you ever feel guilty about feeling that, because you deserve it, Nicole. You absolutely freaking deserve it. I think everybody deserves to feel like that, but don't you ever let somebody diminish your light, your fire. You are a special human being, and you deserve anything you set your mind to. You truly, truly deserve that. I wish you nothing but the best of health. I hope you rock it. I hope you crush the business side of it. I hope it brings financial freedom to you and wealth freedom. I hope you're inspiring. I know, and not hope, I know that you're going to inspire thousands and thousands more people because you are real, you are authentic, you are vulnerable, and you can tell that you are serving from the heart. And that is such a beautiful freaking thing when you can find people that actually serve from the heart. And if all the other stuff happens, it's just a bonus, right? But if you can touch someone's life, that's truly what it's all about. And all the rest of it is just a byproduct. It's like losing weight. Like we're doing it to get healthy, but the byproduct is losing weight. Well, we're doing this to help people. And if they want to, give money and give free product and do whatever, because we're just helping other people feel awesome like we are, there's no shame in that game whatsoever, is there?
Nope. Exactly.
Hell no, there's not. Hell no, no. Last thing. I know we're a little over, but I want to get one more thing out of you. Tell me about the ER Shred community real quick. What has it meant to you? What has it done for you? How has it helped you? Has it helped you? Tell people about what we have in our free Facebook community that anybody can join at www.ershredders.com.
I love the ER Shred Facebook community. I love them. I always will comment on people's posts. I want them to feel good. And then when I post stuff about myself and I get like 100 and something comments and I'm like, oh my gosh. And you feel amazing. You feel absolutely amazing. And then there's recipes in there and there's like guides and everything. There's everything that you need to know in there. But I absolutely love, I like posting on other people's stuff. I love making people feel good. And I love it when they return the favor when I post stuff about me.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. I'm trying to see. I think, is Carolyn on here? I think she might be this Facebook user. But I don't know, because she's crushing the business. So I was like, well, maybe that's got to be her. But I was trying to look on Facebook to see, because sometimes this platform doesn't show if somebody doesn't accept it. But anyways, I'll go back and look. But listen, Nicole, thank you so much. Seriously, thank you so much for showing up. You know that I am always here for you. If you need me, you know where to find me. Listen, somebody like you, I will always make time for somebody like you, just so you know. I admire the living shit out of you. I just need you to know that. I know everybody always goes, oh, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm just some schmuck who just has a big mouth and won't shut up. And I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. So that's why I'm where I'm at today. But somebody like you, man, you inspire the living shit out of me. I'm not just telling you that to tell you that. I promise you, your story, your courageousness, the things that you've been through, the fight that you have, the amazing woman that you are, the weight means nothing to me. You as a person, I've gotten really good at feeling out people. I've been through a lot of shit myself, Nicole, and I just feel that from you. And I wanted to share that with you. You're just amazing. And I hope you receive that. I hope that makes you feel as special as you are. I want nothing but the most success for you. And I cannot wait to keep celebrating you. I can't wait to keep screaming. I will be your biggest cheerleader. Damn, I'll put on a dress with pom-poms if I have to cheer you on, girl. You just keep going. You know I will too. Don't you doubt me. You just keep going, and don't you let anybody ever get in your way. You promise me that?
I promise.
Okay, good. Thank you so much again, Nicole, for showing up. Guys, everybody who joined, thank you for your time. Go back, Nicole, read the comments. I think they'll really make you feel emotional. I know you didn't get to see them, but definitely go check that out. Guys, every single Tuesday, we are here to share with you another epic story like tonight. The ER Shred community is something like you've never experienced. This is not about weight loss. This is not about some stupid diet. This is not some superficial bullshit. bullshit that's out in the media today. We want to empower you. We want to give you back control. We want you to come alive. And the only way that you can do that is if you raise your hand and say yes to yourself. And I promise you, you are so worth that. Join us here every single Tuesday night. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have our Shred Your Testimonial call where we have shorter versions of testimonials. And then at the very, very end, I go through a quick little breakdown of the science behind the ER shred and what it is and how it helps. And Thursday, we have an opportunity call. I mean, we got something for everybody here, don't we, Nicole?
We do.
We do, girl. We do. Listen, guys, have an amazing night. We'll catch you next week. Thank you so much again, Nicole, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Good night.